It is 3 p.m. on Tuesday. It is time for our second Tap Talk. Tap Talks, where we bring you awesome arts professionals to talk about their creative careers and their paths to them, specifically for a teen audience. For anybody who is joining us that is not yet familiar with TAP, TAP stands for Teen Arts Pass. We are a program of the arts organization Urban Gateways. And through TAP, anyone 13 to 19 can get $5 tickets to performances with our 27 partner organizations all around the Chicago area. Of course, there are not performances to see right now because of COVID-19 and the stay-at-home orders in place. So the TAP team wanted to figure out a way to keep the creativity flowing and engage the teens of Chicago and beyond somehow. So we are continuing on with these TAP Talks. We started these last Thursday, and we're continuing today and every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Central here on Instagram Live. Hashtag Quarantine Arts Pass. So today I am super excited to introduce Steph Paul. Steph Paul is an award-winning choreographer and director who cultivates brave spaces for the excavation and celebration of the stories that move through us. A maker of percussive, full-bodied, social justice-driven work, she is passionate about the arts as a means to build community and amplify unheard voices. Recent theater/movement credits include How to Defend Yourself at Victory Gardens Theater and Where the Mountain Meets the Sea, the Humana Festival at Actors Theater of Louisville. You can see more about her work at stephpaul.com. So we've got some questions lined up thanks to our TAP Teen Council. Some of you are joining us today. But we encourage you to ask any questions here in the comments or the question box as well. And we'll get to as many of them as we can in our time here today. In Steph Paul. We're just waiting for that connection and hoping that it goes smoothly. Hi, Steph.
Hello. Am I here? Am I live? Did this work?
It worked. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's so funny. Hello.
Steph, thank you so much for joining us for our second ever TAP Talk. Again, for those of you just joining us, this is a program of Teen Arts Pass and Urban Gateways, where we talk to creative arts professionals about their path to their career and specifically with some questions geared towards our teen audience, but everyone is welcome. So, Steph, just to get started, can you kind of tell us about your job, your line of work, what you do in the arts?
Well, what I do in the arts right now is make and create for my living room, like the rest of the world. It's very exciting. But I am a choreographer, director, and movement director in the arts. I work a lot in theater. I also have worked in concert dance. I also come from a body percussion background. So I get to put all of those skills in a blender and create for both the stage and also for non-traditional performance spaces.
Cool. So how did you find yourself in this line of work professionally?
Yeah, I think I had a super transformative experience in college where I got to create with some pretty amazing people at Northwestern University in a performance group called Boom Shaka. And we got to drum and dance, and I was making rhythm with my body in a way that I never had before. And so that opportunity to get to create work and make art in a way that I just didn't know was possible, like really transformed my understanding of myself as an artist, because I kept feeling like I had to put myself in this perfect box. And I got to be with awesome, like-minded people that were like, you know, who cares about the box? Let's explode the box. How about we determine what the box is for us? And that totally transformed my understanding of what it meant to be an artist. And post-college really devoted myself towards creating ensemble, being in spaces with people that too really came at art from a multidisciplinary approach, not just validating ballet or anything that is considered to be tradition, and really being able to be in spaces where I got to reinvent the wheel a bit. And so I ran a performance company called Be the Groove, where similar to Boom Shaka, we were making rhythm in non-traditional ways. And from there, started working with a theater company here in Chicago called Albany Park Theater Project. And we devise original theater based off of people's real life stories. And within Albany Park Theater Project, that was my first traditional foray into making theater. And what was awesome is it was an organization that was like, hey, what you do is dope. What you do is awesome. And we want your music, your movement background, and we want to use those skills and apply them directly into our theater practice because we validate all forms of art making. And so starting to work with Albany Park Theater Project allowed my brain to go, wait a second, I'm also a storyteller, and the way I move and make is also totally valid in theater. And since then, I've been working really quite often in traditional theater spaces and bringing my unconventional background to the space, which has been really, really fun.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I think that's something that came up in our first Tap Talk too, is like the narrow definition people might have at some point in their lives, and then that pivotal moment when that's kind of broken open.
Oh yeah.
Like really encourages people to find their own path. And so I think your path is extremely unique, and I think that's something really great for our audience to hear. So thanks for that. I want to know, I'm sure this changes for you daily, but what's kind of your favorite professional project that you've worked on, or if it helps, what you're most proud of in your professional work? I know it's hard.
Oh, that's so hard because I feel like they're all my like artistic babies and loves. I've favorites for many different reasons. Like Be the Groove is one of my favorites because I just feel so lucky that I got to work with like my best friends for so long, for like over a decade. So that was awesome. I just worked on a show called Where the Mountain Meets the Sea at the Humana Festival. Sadly, we didn't get to properly open because of COVID-19, but I still feel really fortunate that we had a process. And something that I enjoyed so much about that show is that I'm a Haitian American. I'm first generation, and that show was written by Jeff Augustine, who's also first gen Haitian American. And it was the first time in my life where I got to create in a space where I really got to tap into and honor my cultural heritage, just in such a specific way that I had never experienced before. And it just felt so exciting to be in this space where I could like bring up stories of my mom and my dad and like music that I heard at home, and for all of that information to be so fruitful and for people to be so excited to hear it, and to be so inspired by our playwright and the artists in the room. That has been one of like the greatest artistic gifts I've ever been given. I think it's so important when people feel like they can be in spaces where they can bring all of themselves to their work, and to share their stories. So yeah, so I'll start with those two for now.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I think that's really great. Do you have any people you look up to in your line of work? Any role models or inspirations?
Yeah. I feel like the older I get, the more I recognize how much of an impact my father had on me becoming an art maker and a creator. My dad is a music producer, and all of his work is honors Haitian culture. And so a lot like amazing, like super, like, a lot of bass, a lot of dope syncopated rhythms, like so much groove. Like that is the music that I grew up listening to. And it's so funny because it's like you're a kid and you're just like, whatever. Like my dad does this, or, my parent does this, who cares? And then it's like, as I track and stack my career, and I'm like, okay, so I spent over a decade like making music and rhythmic movement, and now I work in theater and I'm storytelling and I'm bringing that music and movement to the space, and I'm like so obsessed with like finding music that moves me. I'm like, man, there must have been like a really strong seed that was planted within me. And sometimes when you're a kid, you don't pay attention to your foundation, but as I get older, I grow to be so grateful for it. And like my dad is totally like one of like my role models. I should probably tell him. Thank you, Teen Arts Pass. I'm gonna let him know.
That's yeah, I think that's probably good. That's probably good to do. For anybody just joining us, this is Tap Talks with Teen Arts Pass. We're here with Steph Paul, a choreographer and director, and we're just asking her a little bit more about her career, how she got here, and giving a little bit of wisdom to our aspiring artists out there. So do you have, what's the first arts memory that you can kind of recall? Is there anything that you can really think about and how that might have influenced you?
Yeah, I remember, okay, there is this recital I was in, and I was in elementary school, and we were doing a baseball themed dance. And there was this movement where there was two of us that were supposed to slide onto the stage from stage right, and at the same time, two other people were sliding out from stage left. So it was like, whoosh, we were all supposed to like slide, like we're like sliding into home plate or something. And I loved this movement and this moment so much. And I will never forget, like, I just nailed it in dress rehearsal. But then in the recital, I missed my cue and didn't come out. Totally missed the slide. Here's the lesson learned from this Teen Arts Pass community. I was so obsessed with that moment and like the fact that it like came and went, and just realized like how hungry I was to like get back on stage and like do it again or try again. I think part of it is also like, oh my gosh, like I was like so sad that I missed it. But the more I get older, it's just like, just try to create another opportunity for yourself to get back on stage. You'll nail it the next time. And if you miss it, you'll nail it the time after that. But I just remember that moment as being like this identifying point in my life where I was like, oh my God, I love this. I need to get back out there. That cannot be my last time on stage. So yeah, I think I was in like third grade.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I can just picture little third grade Steph.
I was
all upset about that. All right. I'm gonna challenge you here.
Oh boy.
What is a favorite performance experience that you have seen as an audience member but not worked on?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't warn you about this one.
Oh, it's good. It's good. You got to get it free form off the dome. Favorite performance experience? Oh boy. I loved the first time I saw Stomp. That was so fun. I also saw, oh my gosh, when my dear friend Dan was in Blue Man Group and I got to see him live in Vegas, that was like really incredible. I was just like so excited for him. There's something amazing when you get to see people you love live their best lives on stage and you're just like, oh my gosh, you're so free, you're so alive. And I would say, yeah, I feel like usually my favorite performance experiences are like super rhythmic and like visceral and kinetic, because I feel like I'm the type of person I always kind of like lean in. I'm like, my heart is like racing. So I love stuff like that. But I would say seeing Blue Man Group with my friend Dan was like super special.
That's awesome. I wish I had seen it. Let me ask a quick either or series to break things up. So just respond off the top of your head. Netflix or Hulu?
Oh boy. Hulu, because we got live TV and no ads and we like it, you know.
You'll be expecting your check from Hulu any moment now. Coffee or tea?
Oh, that is just not right. But we'll say tea, because I have tea more.
Tortilla chips or potato chips?
Tortilla, absolutely.
Ability to fly or to read minds?
I think if I was reading minds, like it would be too aggressive. I'd be freaked out by all of humanity. So I gotta say fly.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Cake or pie?
I'm gonna say pie for my good friend Lindsay.
Her cakes are good too.
Yeah.
Comedy or drama?
Comedy. We all deserve a laugh.
Especially right now. Indoors or outdoors?
Outdoors. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. That concludes my rapid fire unrelated either or series.
I hope I passed. I hope I won the game.
I'll get your grade back to you tomorrow. The 15th grade. Cool. So can you tell us a little bit about Steph as a teenager? Who were you? What were you like? What were
Okay.
you up to?
Steph as a teenager. So I was looking at photos because you would ask me to send like a photo of me as a teen.
Yeah.
Steph as a teenager definitely liked to make really like enthusiastic faces. Like all of the photos that I looked through, there was a lot of me being like, like, it was just like, what is up with me? Like, I think I was a little bit of a clown. I think I was probably also like, I feel like I remember like definite bouts of insecurity because being a teenager is hard. I feel like we don't support our young people enough. Like growing up in this world is really hard. But what else? I loved dancing. In my teens is when I really started to embrace choreography, and there were opportunities in my high school to choreograph. And so I feel like I really started to tap into my artistic identity. So I felt like something was like building, you know what I mean? There's like a fire starting to burn inside me as a teenager, which was really fun. Super competitive and like loved sports. So when I was growing up, the Yankees were in their like prime. So every year it was like Yankees win, and lots of like parades. So like big sports fan, slightly insecure, but like loved her friends and hanging out and like being silly and goofy. That was Steph as a teen.
Aw. What did you think you would be when you grew up, or what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a teen?
Okay. I remember this vividly. I told this to my mother. I really wanted to be a psychiatrist. Yes, I didn't say therapist or psychologist. I said psychiatrist because I knew.
I
think I got disconnected for a
yeah,
second.
I think I just made I just and then I didn't fill the time very well, but
Oh, it's amazing, but I'm here. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. So I wanted to be a psychiatrist because I knew they could prescribe medicine, and I swear, and I thought they made more money. But honestly, where it came from is I wanted to help people. So I wanted to be a psychiatrist, and I wanted to own 3 cars. The Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. I wanted it in purple, green, and blue. You can't make this up, folks. Why? I don't know. But that's what Stephanie Paul as a teen wanted.
Oh my gosh.
You're welcome.
That's hilarious. So to what would you attribute the success that you have had in your career?
First off, my mother has always been like, whatever you want to do, do it. She's been super supportive. Never once was like, you sure you don't want to be a doctor? You don't want any of those like guaranteed paths? You want to just go down this windy road? And she was like, okay, you do. You want to go down this windy road, and I will gladly walk down it with you. So I would say having that support from my mom has been like such an anchor. And so, yeah, I owe so much to her. And I feel like the community that I've really worked hard to build, and just people that have like given me hugs and been like, hey, you're awesome. Come along with us, you know? Tara, you've been a part of that community. I feel like Chicago has been such a beautiful community. What I love so much about this city is it's so ensemble based. Like a lot of people have been like, when are you going to New York? When are you going to LA? And I think those cities are awesome. But I feel like Chicago really is team first. And so I feel like, you know, if you're part of a good team, there's so much that you can accomplish.
Awesome. So what are you doing with your time at home right now?
Oof. What am I doing? I'm journaling a lot. I am also occasionally like kind of having little like, what is happening with the world? right? So I'm just going to own that it hasn't always been super easy, but I feel like the only way through the storm is through it. So I'm like working to give myself permission to feel all the feelings. I've been, I learned the entire dance of Joyful Joyful from Sister Act 2. And if you don't know it, anyone out here, please go look it up. That has been a gift.
Show us right now.
Yeah. It's a lot of like, it's real. It's like 90s hip hop, just at its finest, you know, but like church tinged. It's so good. So I've been like, honestly, I've been choreographing like silly dances, learning silly dances. I've posted none of them. I've been selfish and just kept them for me. But yeah, I've just been trying to find ways to laugh. That's what I've been doing.
That's great. Yeah. It's so important right now. Yeah.
Gosh.
So one of our followers had this question the last time around, and I think it's a fantastic question. So, friends of Willacather Elementary would like to know what challenges you've had to overcome in the past 2 years.
Oof. Well, see, that's interesting because when I think of challenge, instantly I thought of like, what are the internal challenges and what are the external challenges? I think internally for me, it's been just believing my hype, believing I'm good enough. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like with social media, it's very easy to compare yourself to others. It's very easy. I think of it in terms of input versus output. We as artists, right? It is our great gift that we can share ourselves and bring people together and communicate. But I think sometimes with social media, it's very easy to inundate ourselves with input from the outside world. You know, it's like scrolling and it's like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? Comparing ourselves. And I think what social media doesn't give us is context. So it feels like in a vacuum, all of these people are achieving their greatest life successes. But it's like, I don't know their story. I don't know how they got there. Just like they don't know my story. So something that my brain can do is like write their story for them and be like, wow, look at this person and this beautiful award they've won. And their life must be so great. And their bank accounts are so full. And they're all so happy. But at the end of the day, I don't know. So a major thing that I've been working on is spending less time writing other people's stories and more time actively writing my own story.
It's a really good message for everyone. I think it's important to remember, especially, you know, talking to teens who are, as you said before, kind of in that really challenging time in your life where you think that it's all, everybody's got it all together.
Yeah.
Especially, like, thank goodness that when we were teens, social media was not what it is, because I cannot imagine. But just that remembering that, like, everybody doubts themselves, everybody struggles, and what can you do to push yourself past that and to try to believe in yourself and believe that what you bring to the table is valuable. And so I think that's a really great lesson that you're continuing to learn and that you've shared, and that I think is a really important one for teens to know. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and it's a life journey. Like, I feel like the most accomplished people in the world are still working through bouts of insecurity and question marks about their self-worth and validity. And I just feel like, let's just go on that journey together forever. Like, let's keep learning about how to be good humans, good to ourselves and good to each other.
Yeah. That's fantastic. The last real question I have, and what I'll say is, for those of you who are live with us right now, if you have any questions you want to put in comments or in the little question thing that I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. If you want to add any questions for Steph before we wrap up here, please feel free to add your questions. The last thing that I know that I want to ask before our time is up is what message you would want to share with your teenage self, with little teenage Steph. What do you want to tell her when you get your Bill and Ted time machine?
Oh my. You brought it back to Bill and Ted?
It's just for us, nobody else. No.
Wow, that was so good. What would I want to tell her? Woof. Oh boy. Wow. Like, way to just pierce your way into my heart. Just boom. Wow. I think, oh Lord, I'm like zeroing in on, I feel like I moved through like my teens with a lot of fear of like messing up. And I would probably tell her like, no, 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 the key is to mess up. The key is to mess up repeatedly and to fall repeatedly so that you can keep getting back up, right? Like, because if you don't give yourself an opportunity to fail, you'll never know what it feels like to get to the other side. And that other side is so glorious, because you have a better appreciation of like the work that it took to succeed. And yeah, so I would tell Steph to keep failing and to love it, to love every moment of it, because that's how you become really good at things, and it just helps you appreciate life. Yeah.
That's really great advice. Thank you for Steph as a teen and all the other people who may come across this. So, Steph, is there anything else you'd like to share with us? I mean, those are my questions, but I don't know if there's anything else you want to, and any other wisdom or things you want to suggest that teens look into, check out, do, anything like that.
Maybe two things. One, I would say if you ever feel like stuck and you want to make something, you want to be creative, but you feel stuck inside your own body, to find your community. For me, again, like one of the most transformative things for me was finding like-minded people and building something with them and releasing the need to like have to build it all on my own. I feel like every great artist, every great human, looks outside of themselves for inspiration. And so you don't have to do it alone. So I'd start with that. And number two, one of my dear friends, Danielle, called me in the midst of all this, and she was checking up on me. And at the end of the conversation, she's like, I know I don't have to tell this to you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. In these times, make sure you drink water, make sure you get plenty of sleep, and like do something at least once a day that like makes you feel good, whether it's like put on a silly song and like dance to it, or like write a rap, write a poem. Like, nobody has to ever see it if you don't want people to see it, but just think about, as much as you can, like be good to yourself, and like share yourself. It doesn't have to be with the world, but share yourself with yourself.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for joining us, Steph. It has been phenomenal talking to you. It's
you
been great.
too.
I'm so glad we were able to connect and be able to share this with TAP. We will be posting this on our YouTube channel soon, as long as I don't mess up.
You got this. You got this.
So please, everybody and staff, be sure you're following Teen Arts Pass. Check out our YouTube channel. This Thursday, we will be talking with Amanda Krieg Thomas, who has a job a lot of teens I think are going to be interested to hear about. And she works in music supervision, so doing a lot of music for TV and movies. So set a calendar reminder out there, teens, for Thursday at 3 p.m. Central. That is April 2nd. So thank you again, Steph. Thank you, all of our viewers, all of our TAP community out there, and just keep being creative, everyone. Just keep it up. We're going to get through this together. So thanks so much, Steph.
Yay. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.